Hi guys, this is Dormouse03. Welcome to my Dishonored 2 walkthrough for the achievements and trophies, Shadow, Clean Hands, and Flesh and Steel. This is mission number 6, the Dust District. And this is one of the quickest and easiest missions in the game. It looks kind of lengthy on this video because I am going to be walking you through solving the Jindosh riddle, which is going to take some explaining, but once you get that and kind of understand how to do it, it's fairly simple and will save you a lot of headache getting through this level. You get to skip the majority of it, and you don't have to really get into too many. It's no bad situations at the end. You just have to get through this little bit at the beginning where you have a couple of guards to take out and a wall of light to get through. And then the rest is just solving a puzzle. And then that's it. So we are going to be sneaking around a little bit here. What you want to do is head across, make sure the guards aren't looking at you, and go across to this side so that you can get up top and turn off the windmill, which will disable the wall of light, which is awesome. There are 2 guards up here, and we're going to want to take them both out so that they aren't causing you any problems. And another thing to keep in mind here is that there are these dust storms, which are kind of random. I get one. You usually get one once you get up here. And so if you just wait a little while, you should get one while you're up on top of this roof. And that just really helps with not getting spotted by these guys. But you don't necessarily have to do it. You can take the path that I take. Just be aware that they're going to be a little bit more alert without the dust obscuring their vision. So what I did was I waited for this one guy on the right to turn around. Then I'm going to go over here, hop on the outside of this banister, and then the dust storm takes place, and that kind of helped give me some cover to take out these 2 guys. So took out number 1. And then we're going to also take out number 2. You can also use a sleep dart here if you need to. But like I said, if you just wait for that dust storm, that is very, very helpful. So it's a blueprint that we don't really need, but there it is anyway. And then you just want to hop up on top of these crates. And you should be able to jump up to the windmill from there. And then we turn it off. And then I think the hardest part of this actually is getting down from up here. And so now there's a couple of things that you can do. If you want it to be a little bit safer, you can probably just walk back downstairs and knock out all the guards. There's, I think, 4 or 5 of them down here. There are at least 4. And so you can probably just try to take them out one by one, or at least take out enough of them so that they don't see you moving across. But I liked to get down from here really quick. So what I'm waiting for is for the one guy who just walked over to the right to come back and have his back turned. And then I'm going to hop down and take down this guy in the red coat. So that's a semi-risky move. You don't have to do that. You saw that I didn't quite get crouched quickly enough, and that guy became alerted, which was sort of actually helpful because it meant that people moved away from the wall of light. And I was able to just make sure that they were all turned around and walk on through. But if that doesn't happen for you, you're going to have to wait until people have moved and all kinds of stuff. I was checking right here, and I left this in because I wanted to show you guys the stats page, and my graphics were sort of messed up. I don't know. It was some kind of glitch in the game where I couldn't see the images on my saves, but so that's why it looks kind of weird. But you saw that I checked my stats page, and it said, you know, no getting spotted and no kills. I just wanted to make sure that I hadn't actually been seen there. And I just decided to leave that one in as an example of, I didn't think I had been seen. I know that the outline had turned red, but I didn't think that he had actually spotted me, but I just wanted to be sure. And so that was what I did. And, you know, I did that a lot during these runs. I just trimmed it out. And I just thought that was a really good example of using that to make sure that you're safe to move forward. So here we go. We have met up with Megan, and then we are free and clear for the rest of this. The rest of this tutorial is just going to be me telling you how to solve the Jindosh riddle. If you don't want to do that, if you don't want to solve the riddle, or if you are struggling with the riddle, or you don't like the riddle, you're like, F that riddle, make a save after you look at the riddle, and so that you make sure that it's loaded in and it's going to be the same, and make a save then, and then go murder one of the two gang leaders, or knock him out, whichever you want to do. It doesn't make any difference because you're going to be reloading. But go murder everybody, do whatever you want. Make sure you murder one of the guys, take him to the other leader, and then they will give you the code. And so they give you the answer, you write down the answer, or remember it. I would suggest writing it down on a piece of paper, and then reload your save back when you had just looked at the riddle, and then enter the code, and then you're done. You're through the door. You don't have to solve this thing the way that I'm going to show you to. I just think it's fun, and I think it's the easiest way of getting through this, and it's the way that I got through it, so I didn't record me going and murdering people, because that's not what we're doing in this guide. So, but that is a way that you can do it if you're struggling with getting this. So here we are at the riddle, and now I'm going to walk you through how to solve this thing. Okay guys, so we are now going to solve the Jindosh riddle. I'm going to try to walk you through how to do this so that you can replicate it on your riddle, because your riddle will not be the same as mine. The people and seating and colors that they're wearing and what heirloom they have and all that different stuff is random. But it is in a pattern, so that if you look at the clues in a particular way, you will be able to figure this out consistently every time. And so I'm going to try to walk you guys through how to do that in the most efficient way possible. So the first thing that you want to do is get a piece of paper and make a 5x5 grid. And this is going to represent the 5 seats in a row, as well as the 5 characteristics of each person. So you're going to have name, color, drink, nationality, and heirloom. And we can now fill this in based on the clues in the riddle. Each riddle should break down to 15 clues. The specifics of the clues are random, like I said before. You're going to have different people assigned to different seats, colors, drinks, nationalities, and heirlooms each time. But they should always follow a similar pattern so that you can use the clues from your riddle the same way each time. For this one, I'm going to break this down to the following set of 15 clues. So it tells me the women sat in a row, that's the same every time. They all wore different colors. And Madame Natsu wore a jaunty blue hat. So our first clue is Natsu is wearing blue. Dr. Marcola was at the far left next to the guest wearing a white jacket. So that breaks down into clues number 2 and 3. Marcola is on the far left, and Marcola is next to the person in white. The lady in green sat left of someone in red, So the fourth clue is green is left of red. I remember that green outfit because the woman spilled her rum all over it. So that means that clue number 5 is green has rum. The traveler from Karnaca was dressed entirely in purple, which tells us clue number 6, Karnaca is wearing purple. When one of the dinner guests bragged about her ring, the woman next to her said they were finer in Karnaca where she lived. So that gives us the clue, number 7, that Karnaca is next to the person with the ring. So Baroness Finch showed off a prized diamond. Clue number 8, Finch has the diamond. At which the lady from Dunwall scoffed, saying it was no match for her snuff tin, which gives us clue 9, the person from Dunwall has the snuff tin. Someone else carried a valuable war medal, and when she saw it, the visitor from Freyport next to her almost spilled her neighbor's absinthe. This is the clue that got me hung up a little bit because it could be taken in 2 different ways. You could see it as the person with the war medal is sitting next to the visitor from Freyport, who is sitting next to the person who has absinthe. So it would be 3 different people. Or you could see it as the person with the war medal is the person with the absinthe, and they are sitting next to the person from Freyport, which is the way that you should interpret that sentence. That is the correct way. It is that way every single time. So when it tells you the person who carried the whatever heirloom it is, in this case it's the war medal, is sitting next to the visitor from whatever country that is, this time it's Freyport, or city, and spilled her neighbor's absinthe, that means that the drink, in this case absinthe, belongs to the person with the heirloom that it mentioned earlier, in this case the war medal. So, hopefully that was understandable, but that gives us clue number 10, which is the person with the war medal sits next to the person from Freyport, and clue number 11, which is the person with the war medal has the absinthe. So that's the toughie there. Everything else is pretty straightforward, but we'll continue going through it. Lady Winslow raised her whiskey in toast, which gives us clue number 12. Winslow has the whiskey. The lady from Bailton, full of beer, jumped up onto the table, which gives us clue number 13. Person from Bailton has the beer. Falling into the guest in the center seat, spilling the poor woman's wine, which gives us clue 14. The person in the center is drinking wine. Then Countess Conti captivated them all with a story about her wild youth in Debakva, which gives us our last clue, clue number 15, that Conti is from Debakva. So, now that we have our grid, our 5x5 grid, and all 15 of our clues written out, we can start using the clues to fill in the grid. Clue number 2 tells us that Marcola is in the leftmost seat, so we place her there. Clue number 3 says that Marcola sits next to the person in white. Since there is only one seat by Marcola, the person in white must go there. Clue 14 says the person in the center drinks wine, so we can fill that in as well. Now, clue number 4 says the person in green sits to the left of the person in red. Because we know that the second seat is white, green and red must go either in the 3rd and 4th or the 4th and 5th seats. Clue number 5 tells us that the person in green drinks rum. So we know that she can't be in the 3rd seat because that person drinks wine. So the only places that green and red can go are seats number 4 and 5. So now we have 3 of 5 of the colors placed. Clue number 1 tells us that Miss Natsu is wearing blue. Because the center seat is the only one left with an empty color and name, Natsu must go there. This leaves purple as the only color left to be assigned, so we can fill that in for Miss Marcola. Clue 6 tells us that the lady from Karnaca is wearing purple, so we can fill that in too. Clue 7 tells us the person with the ring sits next to the person from Karnaka, so they must sit in the second chair. Now, looking at our grid, we have information about 2 of the drinks, so let's start filling in the rest of those. It's easiest to try to figure out the drink for the first seat now because we have 3 pieces of information for that seat already and clues that help us figure out which of the 3 remaining drinks she has. Clue number 12 tells us that Ms. Winslow drinks whiskey, so that can't be it. Clue number 13 says that the person from Bailton drinks beer, but Marcola is from Karnaka, so that leaves absinthe as the only drink that can go in that spot. Now, clue number 11 tells us that the person drinking absinthe has the war medal, so we can place it in the first column too. Clue 10 tells us that the person from Freyport sits next to the person with the war medal, so they must sit in the second chair. Since clue number 13 tells us the person with beer is from Bailton, they can't go in seat 2 because that woman is from Freyport. The only seat left for our beer-drinking Bailton citizen is seat 5. Now we know seat 2 must have the whiskey, and because clue 12 told us that Ms. Winslow is drinking whiskey, she is in seat 2. Clue number 15 says that Ms. Conti is from Debakva, meaning she cannot be the person in seat 5 and must be in seat 4. This leaves Ms. Finch for seat 5 and means that Natsu in seat 3 must be from Dunwall. Clue 8 says that Ms. Finch has the diamond, and clue 9 says the person from Dunwall has the snuff tin. This leaves 1 space left, seat 4, for the last heirloom, the bird pendant. So there you go. That is a breakdown of the riddle solved. As I said, the specifics of your riddle will be different each time, but if you look at your clues in the same order that I did, you should be able to fill in your grid accurately every time. If you have trouble with this or don't want to bother with the riddle, remember you can make a save, go kill one of the leaders, take him to the other leader, get the solution, and then reload your save and put in the solution. Either way, you put in your answer into the little doorway here that they've designed, and that leads us to the end of the level. So there you go, guys. Hopefully that was helpful. I think the riddle's really cool. I think I really like logic puzzles and stuff, and it was really fun to figure this one out and to come up with a strategy that works to figure it out for every single time. I've used this same method of going through the clues for several different versions of this riddle, and it works every time. So hopefully this will work for you. I hope that it helps you out. And now all you need to do is just make sure that you get your check marks for Ghostly and Merciful at the end of the level. And that is a quick and easy way of getting done with Mission 6. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope this was helpful for you, and I will see you in Mission 7.